we'll talk to our guest, a well-known abroad Ukrainian writer, Andrey Kurkov. Andrey, sorry for keep you waiting so much. I'll just, maybe you're one of the few Ukrainian writers who needs introduction for the international community. Andrei's books were translated into more than 36 languages, and one of his latest books is just write about the latest events in Ukraine diaries, dispatches from Kyiv.
And we're so happy to have you because you're someone who not only knows Ukraine, but part of our mission we try and look at is not just to cover Ukraine, but Ukraine in a wider Eastern European context. Certainly your background as, someone who's ethnically Ukrainian, but grew up in Russia.
Well, I'm ethnically actually Russian.
Oh, you're ethnically Russian?
Born in Russia, grew up in Kyiv.
Oh, I see there, I'm sorry.
And writing in Russian.
Writing in Russian.
See, I've already gotten confused. That's why we need you on the show to clear all that up.
See, has this ever been an issue explaining someone abroad your identity? Has this ever been an issue?
Well, it never stopped being an issue. But I think I have less questions now from the foreign audiences about it than 5 or 10 years ago.
Really?
Because 10 years ago, actually, the first question would be, where is Ukraine?
And now?
Now it's mostly actually the questions about future of Russian-Ukrainian relations, about Crimea, about daily life during the war.
But what do you think Ukrainian identity means to you? What could be a part of this identity? We have this, we have a well-known Ukrainian writer writing in Russian. Maybe your readers in Europe do not even care that you actually write in Russian. They read your text
well, they know
in their
because
native
on the
languages.
books it says that translated from Russian. Yes.
So what is being Ukrainian to you? What is being a citizen of Ukraine to you right now?
It's my, I would say, personal judgment, because whenever I start talking about this with my Ukrainian colleagues, we never stop. We just start drinking then afterwards instead of finding a solution. But generally, I've been loyal to the state, paying taxes, which actually is not very common in this country. But I have been doing it for many, many years. And I remember the first time I came to declare my income, the lady in the tax office said, why do you leave this money abroad? You are earning money abroad. You declared more than President Kuchma. It's not politically correct. Well, I said, oh, sorry, because if I leave the money abroad, then I am not really a citizen of this country, and then I should be worried always that one day I will be discovered.
So you have to put your money where your mouth is to make it work.
Yes.
Why is it important for you to keep your money here and to be a citizen of Ukraine?
Paying taxes is important. I can keep money where I want.
Whatever the money goes.
But the state's, the angel's share, the state's share should
stay here, at least for a while.
Because my kids go to Ukrainian schools. Because I use, sometimes night lighting of the city. I want to live comfortably in a comfortable state where everybody is happy, and to keep everybody happy it costs a lot of money, especially if people who are supposed to keep others happy are corrupt.
Well, and happiness is certainly hard now, but I wanted to kind of focus your attention to something else. You have this book which has gotten a lot of publicity in the West, the Ukraine Diaries, Dispatches from Kyiv, and you kind of describe the conversations going on in Ukraine during Maidan and all of that. And do you have a sense that Ukrainian society has changed and is changing? And your book was looking at Maidan. We've already moved on to the war. What are some of the changes going on now? And is there a different idea of what it means to be Ukrainian now than there was 6, 7, 8 months ago?
Well, so many questions in one.
Take the one you like.
Yes,
how has society changed?
The society changed a lot, but I want to say that I lived through 2004, through Orange Revolution, and then there was some kind of feeling that the Ukraine will never be the same again. And suddenly, it took only 2 years of passivity of the new democratic government, and everything went back to normal and even became worse. Now it won't be the same again, because the society is very radicalized, because there is a split, although it's not a split between two parts of the country, it's a split now between a huge part of the country and small regions which are under control of separatists or Russian army or Russian minders, etc. But I would say the level of sincere patriotism went up over the clouds. And but also the perception of this patriotism became very militant. So, I mean, now if you say you are a patriot, you should be ready to take Kalashnikov and go as a volunteer to Donbass.
Well, I mean, it's hard because I know from people who are on Maidan, when I think it came to May, the people who said, the people who stayed on Maidan who are still there, I can't understand them because the people who are patriotic when Revolve went to the front. And that seems to be, it came up a little earlier, but there is the sense of Maidan having gone to the front now as being a mixture of war and the cutting edge of civil society somehow.
I think when we are talking about Maidan, we should understand that Maidan was not a well-organized army of people who thinks the same things. Because, I mean, I went there sometimes 3 times a day. I talked to different people from different tents. And actually, on each tent there would be usually a name of the village or district or city, because, I mean, these tents were like headquarters, regional headquarters for people who are coming to join Maidan, and they would get help there. They would be advised where to stay overnight, maybe in theater center Kurbas on Vladimirskaya, where lots of people from Maidan also slept, or city council, etc. And I mean, when I was talking to I felt that everybody hated corruption, everybody hated Yanukovych, everybody wanted Ukraine to be wonderful and democratic, but everyone had also his or her own idea what should be done with Ukraine, and sometimes the ideas were bizarre. And the other thing is that there were a lot of people who came to Maidan from afar, from different regions of Ukraine, because they were personally upset or deceived or mistreated by the local governments, by their, the head of the city, village council, by somebody else, by local police. So they also brought their bitterness and their desire to take revenge. So, I mean, for them, Yanukovych was also a symbol of this injustice. Yes. Yeah. But, I mean, the funny thing was that sometimes, actually, I mean, I remember one case, there was a boy from Ternopil region who I talked to him, and I mean, when I was there, I was speaking not Russian, I speak Ukrainian as well as Russian and some other languages. So, and he said that, well, I will stay here until the end, until Russian language is banned in Ukraine. And I was quite surprised.
That was probably not what you were expecting.
Yes, and I said, why? I said, well, because Russian language is actually Putin's language, and when it is banned, I mean, everybody will speak Ukrainian, and the country will be happy. And one thing, I mean, I noticed, I mean, he was the only person I met with this strange idea. But then somebody told me from my foreign friends that they know that there are nationalists who are anti-Russian, and especially anti-Russian language on Maidan. And I think there was some kind of path from different hotels to his tent to have this
guided tours directly there, given
to have
by
this statement.
Andrey, but still, that was a pretty comfortable atmosphere to write. Yes, you did end your book and you published your book. What about now?
I wouldn't say it was comfortable. I mean, because I mean, I stopped writing my novel in November. Actually, once because I mean, I had been writing my novel, which I didn't finish until today, because I don't write it now. And I was writing a collection of essays for Austrian publisher about Ukraine and I would say difference between Ukraine and Russia, between mentalities, culture.
I'll rephrase. It was probably, just correct me if I'm wrong, it was a comfortable atmosphere to reflect upon identity, upon everything that is happening in Ukraine. What about now? Is this militarization, as you said, of mind somehow
I feel uneasy about the word comfortable atmosphere.
Well,
I wouldn't say it was comfortable, especially, I mean, if... I live 400 meters from Maidan. When there were cars burned down on our street. I mean, my flat was blocked by so-called titushki, and the people from security forces of Maidan came with me to sort out the situation, because my daughter was alone in the flat and was afraid to open the door, and they were demanding that she opens the door. And so, I mean, there was no comfort about this.
Okay, maybe it was the right time. The time was called calling to reflect and...
Well, everybody, I mean, I think every writer probably stopped writing fiction or poetry at that time and were writing blogs or writing on Facebook, on columns and trying to understand, if they understood, trying to explain. So, I mean, I was involved in the same process. I was looking for, not for the reasons, because I knew why everything was happening, but I wanted to try to understand where it will go next and what is possible. And I probably, first time actually in my life, I couldn't predict correctly anything at all.
You couldn't predict Crimea, Donbass, and everything?
No. Although, I mean, I predicted everything about Crimea in my book, which was published in 2004, The President's Last Love, and the book is banned in Russia. But I mean, my books are not published in Russia from 2008 anyway. But this book also to be sold in Russia. But there actually Putin is one of the characters, and he promises Ukrainian counterpart to take away Crimea and to cut off gas supplies, which was 1 year before gas crisis and 10 years before.
Seems like a prediction.
So we have life imitating art in this case.
Well, yes, but I mean it doesn't mean that people shouldn't try to write about the future, even if they think that they...
What about now? What are your thoughts about Ukrainian future and the future of those people you were writing about in your book, and probably part of them now moving to the front lines? What are their future? What do you think?
Well, the future is quite difficult because, I mean, even once the conflict is over, I will not try to describe how long it will take to reintegrate psychologically Donbass. I will probably will take even longer to sort out situation in the Crimea. But we are talking also about destinies of probably tens of thousands of volunteers who are coming back to their villages and towns, being soldiers, losing their friends, with a very, I would say, almost pathological sense of justice. And I mean, some of them, as you know, I mean, who are trying now to come back, they're trying also to bring arms with them. Kalashnikovs,
we're looking at a changed society and things that will keep going.
I mean, this will be not only pressure on local governments, it will be just the society which is in different places is ready to blow up, to explode, because if there are no changes, if there are no real reforms, if the people who were corrupt before Maidan are still in power, and unfortunately in many cases it is still the same situation.
Well, I think that's the note we'll have
and so, I mean, we are looking in the future, I would say, with anxiety and thinking about more of a social conflict than international or civil conflict.
Well, and I think that's, all right, I said it before, but giving us some interesting food for thought about the way it'll continue and the ramifications in the future.
Thank you so much for coming.